Live from the Bassroom Studio 2.0 in Seattle, Washington, this is the Podworm Spacecast. The Podworms are 7 lifelong friends who will order a pitcher of water for the table and then be vilified by everyone who will then enjoy said pitcher. Welcome to the Spacecast. Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Podworm Spacecast. Let me introduce our fantastic Podworms to you. We got one half of the Deadly Brother duo, Mike McCoy.
Deadly Brother Roca.
And the second half of the Deadly Brother duo, Kevin McCoy, is in the house.
End of the Deadly Brother roll call.
We have our famous producer, DJ, all-around nice guy, Chase Golka's with us.
I always feel so good in these intros.
And our little buddy, Jim Charters, is here.
I'm just happy to be here, as always.
So historian.
He's so cute.
Also, that
so
was like
historian.
the most like you accused us of stuff
you did.
in the title. You did. Yeah, like in the
No, I don't remember that.
in the
What do you
recap.
mean?
You're like the what'd you say something about water?
I think you must have misheard me.
You know what's funny? I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, I wasn't paying
I
attention.
know.
And
clue
none
he
of us
said.
pay attention.
something about water.
Do you ever introduce
I
yourself?
just didn't like the tone. That's all I'm saying.
Who are you?
I actually never do introduce myself.
How are people going to know? No,
are
actually,
you?
don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Let's keep
Actually,
going.
maybe it's better.
Let's
that
move
way.
on.
After however many episodes we've done, I don't actually even want to know who you are.
I'm like the guy in Fight Club.
His name was Robert Paulson.
Yeah.
Not
His name
that
was
guy.
Robert Paulson.
The narrator. He's just the narrator.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, his name is Tyler Durden.
No. That's
No, you're right. The main guy. Who's
Oh,
just the
Edward
guy.
Norton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I love
yeah,
Edward
Edward
Norton.
Norton.
yeah, that's his name in the book and the actor's name.
I'm like Edward Norton. Well, we have
understand.
a packed episode for you. I mean, it's no surprise at this point if you're a fan of the show. You know that every episode is jam-packed, fudge-packed. There's stuff coming up.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, quick note. Did you guys, when you had new neighbors, did you bring them Jell-O, or did your family bring them Jell-O?
I don't talk to them.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we
no,
already
no,
went over
no,
this.
no, no,
No,
like
no,
as a kid,
Yeah,
like more like your parents. Like, did
Oh.
you ever bring like fudge or Jell-O?
My parents have brought
it was-
their
We
neighbors
were always
nothing.
fudge. We were a fudge family.
Fudge or those like cookie sheets.
What?
You know, like the sheet
Cookie
cookie.
sheets?
Where you like make
That's
it's
a
like-
different thing. A
chocolate
sheet
chip.
cookie versus a cookie sheet. A cookie sheet is what
I would like
This is a different
here's
thing.
some new
Here you
cookie
go.
sheets.
Hot take on cookie sheets over here.
You just give him
No,
a
a
cookie
sheet
sheet.
cookie is different than a cookie sheet. I
Give him a
agree.
cookie sheet and you go, here you go.
No,
Maybe
he's
you can
very
make
right.
us cookies sometime. I don't know. We're really progressive neighborhood, so you can in this neighborhood.
No, but I don't remember that, but I remember fudge. I remember my mom would always make fudge.
I remember.
We bring it to the. Anyway, did you guys do that? Did anybody? No.
I have zero memory of my parents doing that for any
Yeah,
neighbors.
same.
We still get like Scorpa every year from family friends who I haven't seen in over a decade.
Wait, hold on. What
the hell
what
are you
is
talking
Scorpa?
about?
We have a tradition. Okay, Scorpa is like that, like hard, like almost like a smaller. It's like banana shaped and there's a curve.
Imagine a moon.
Okay. Oh, but a crescent, right? But it's like a hard like cracker type thing that you dip in coffee. You've seen it.
Scorpa?
It sounds like an STD.
Is
called
that
Scorpa.
biscotti or is it
It's
like
similar.
Greek
Similar
or
to
something?
biscotti.
It's basically just biscotti, but a different name.
Okay.
But yeah, so every Christmas,
You guys get biscotti.
Julie Jensen makes shout out to Julie Jensen.
Okay.
Makes Scorpa
Whoop,
for
whoop, whoop.
not only for my mom but like for all of the kids in our family.
Wow.
And I haven't
one.
seen her in forever, or probably since our wedding.
She's got a list that she's just going. She's checking all the boxes.
I want to try that.
I think
That
she
sounds
genuinely
awesome.
cares. I don't think she has a list. I think every year she remembers.
She remembers
McCoy.
Mike McCoy.
I got to make a couple for him and his
He,
wife.
he has got his own family now. We got to make him a box.
His own family. He needs his own pack of Scorpa.
What's the difference between a cookie sheet and sheet cookies?
Oh my
God.
god! Don't get me started.
No, okay.
No.
No,
Jason, you
a
can
sheet,
go ahead.
a
You should
sheet cookie.
explain.
That is food, right? Sheet cookie.
Yes,
food.
it is a food item.
Cookie sheet. That is a sheet that you make cookies on.
It's
Which
a
is-
metal
thin
object.
pan. A thin metal pan.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I was not expecting
I see it.
So offended.
I see it now. I see the difference now. Yeah. I see what you're talking about.
gets it finally.
You're like upset that you're like, oh fuck yeah, okay, I get it.
I thought it was something totally different because you guys are upset, like acting like I'm walking around with pans to give to people.
That's what you said. You said I brought them cookie sheets, which is hilarious to think that you would bring them
You just
cookie
bring him a
sheets.
cookie sheet with nothing on it.
I know what I think of when I think of cookie sheets. I make tiny little beds for my cookies, and I also have
you tuck them in.
cookie sheets.
You tuck them
And I
in.
have tiny little cookie covers as well.
Even then,
Before you bring them over, you tuck each one of them in.
I tuck
Night.
each cookie
Little
in.
kiss. Good night. Little kiss.
even then, if you only brought them
A baker's dozen, so 13.
even then, if you only brought them the sheets, they'd be like, "What are these for?"
Oh, they know.
I was imagining that he brought cookies with the sheets.
No, he just said cookie sheets, and then Kevin's like, "Oh, you don't know?"
You sell them the
He just
cookies.
brings like those square napkins. Yeah, these are cookie sheets.
Yeah, you just. It's
How,
just
what do you do to your cookies when you're done? Do you just not tuck them in?
I bring one piece every year. So once you move in, like depending on if you've been my neighbor long
Yeah,
enough,
right.
you get
Yeah,
the full
yeah,
thing. So the first year is sheets.
Yep.
Second year covers.
Yeah.
Third year is the bedpost because that's the most
What
expensive.
about the duvet?
what?
What about the duvet?
We're getting there, fucking
okay,
Andrew.
sorry.
Jesus.
He was going over.
How many years have you lived next to Kevin? Okay.
Like
Okay.
I'm in the middle of a roll of like what I bring for each year, and he's like, "What about the duvet?"
Well, Mike,
What about the dresser? What about the dresser? What about the nightstand? What about the alarm clock? Huh?
Mike, what did you get your brother when he moved in next to you?
Oh, good question.
Mike,
It looks like
He mowed my lawn.
I mowed his lawn. I was nice for one day.
okay,
I mowed his lawn.
okay, fair enough.
wow.
I don't know how to make fudge, nor do I want to know how to make fudge.
Well, you know
You
what they
gotta
say:
make scorpion?
fudge,
I don't like
fudge,
fudge.
lemonade around the corner. Fudge is made.
No, it's milk. It's milk, Andrew.
Yeah, it's definitely milk. Definitely milk.
Wait a second. Okay, yeah.
Fudge, lemonade around the corner. Milk is made. Gross.
That's not quite right. All right, we'll have to hammer out those details a little bit before we do that one again.
Figure it out.
But like I mentioned, we have a great show for you today.
Clearly.
We have the return of the Bit Minute. We have Jim bringing in some hot content off the heels of our story from last week with the
I
bride.
have a new segment called Historical Truths or Not.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, you should have called. Oh, no, never mind.
Sounds
Can we play historical truth or dare?
Historical truths or dare.
And that is what it shall be called from now on.
You have to say a historical fact, or we dare you to do something.
So stay tuned for that.
Oh, man.
Before we get into that, so we've talked about on this podcast the evils of social media, specifically Facebook. We lamented Facebook as well as Bitcoin. That was a famous episode.
We did do that.
And we all talked about why we're still on Facebook at this point. You know, we don't like it. It's just a burden on our lives. Why are we still on Facebook?
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, Daniel and I, our editor, Daniel, we were discussing Facebook and how just spontaneously one day, I think he was discussing that one of our relatives was sharing some stupid bullshit memes again on Facebook. And I was like, you know what? That's all I see on Facebook. Why am I still on here? I'm going to deactivate Facebook. He said, oh yeah, me too. Let's do it together. And I was like empowered. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get off Facebook now on a whim, but Daniel's doing it. I feel like this is a good time to do it. We're both going to get off. And so I said, all right, well, I'm doing this. And at work, I just deactivated my Facebook because you can still use Facebook Messenger, which is really all I use it for anyway.
Correct.
Yep.
You can still use Facebook Messenger. And I said, well, okay, this is great. I'm going to deactivate it and be done. And I said, Daniel, are you going to deactivate now? He said, well, I have to get some of my pictures off first. And so he's going to do it after work.
There's a download. Never mind.
Is there?
Yeah, you can just go into settings and just say download all my content.
Oh, easy.
And also, if you deactivate, you can just log back in and it'll all still be there.
Yeah, your thing is still there. It's just
Yeah.
not activated.
Yeah.
Right. So I deactivated
Yeah,
it.
it's just deactivated.
And it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, it's not activated.
As far as active goes, it's not that.
It's not that.
There is actually, I think, a final delete solution.
There is a final.
Thank you, Kevin, for putting that between the two words.
Final delete solution.
Initiate final delete solution.
and your computer. I
So
love if it made that noise right before that happened.
No, the whole computer lights up. Your room goes red.
Final Delete Solution sounds like a movie I want to watch.
That sounds like a Holocaust film. It's
Well, that's
can't
not what I
follow
was
that.
thinking, but
sorry to bring it down. guys.
I was gonna say Final Delete Solution sounds like an LLC.
It's
Yes, it does.
Final
You're
Delete
absolutely right.
Solution.
Final Delete Solutions, like someone that you hire
It's-
to
you know-
close
you know
out
what
your
it is?
Facebook and all your social media.
Like, you know what it is though? It's like one of those shredding companies that shreds all the documents for companies. It's Final Delete Solution.
Final Delete
there you
Solutions.
go. Let's start a Podworms Final Delete Solutions company where all you have to do
Drop the Podworms.
all you have to, listen. All you have to do is send us your login info for Facebook.
Yeah,
and
we'll
we
delete it
will
for you.
delete it for you.
it is important that you have.
Just send us your username
We
and
will,
password,
we will print out every photo and shred it.
and we will print out every photo, shred it, put it on a USB, throw it away.
It is important though that you have the S for solutions because that little character distances you from the whole Hitler situation.
Right.
Yes.
So that's important. So don't forget that.
Solutions.
Solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
It's just liquid that you pour on your computer.
That
The
works too.
solution that deletes it.
Yeah, now in a spray can.
So I had deactivated my Facebook, and it wasn't long before I realized that you can use Messenger still,
Yeah.
but you can't. There's no desktop app. You can't use it from your computer. You can only use it on your mobile.
Correct.
And this is a real pain in the ass because the main reason I like Facebook Messenger is so I can like type away messages while I'm working on my computer, sitting at my computer. I don't like texting. That's why I use the Messenger. And I said, well, this kind of sucks, but I guess I'll have to kind of live with this. This is my life now. And then later in the day, I went to go make a trend. Like I use Facebook Pay a lot. Like I'll go, I'll buy something with Daniel and I'll pay him back, or we'll go to whatever. And I went to go pay, and you don't have access to Facebook Pay either. And I was
No,
like,
you do
wow,
not.
this is a real bummer. Well, guess I'm back on Facebook now. And that same night, I reactivated my Facebook, which is why I'm glad I didn't go out and be like all preachy and say, hey, I would never do this. But you know those people who are like, you know what, guys, my last day on Facebook.
Like the paragraph, like status.
Jeez.
Yeah.
and you're like, no one gives a fuck.
I'm just really sick of all the negativity on
Yeah.
here, so I'm going to take a break.
Right. Would have been a 3-hour break.
It's like no one gives a fuck.
No one cares
No
about
one cares
you.
if you're
I
leaving.
have a
Facebook is to shit on your status.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about your emotional health. That's the kind of friend I am.
The one thing I don't know, so all those things with Messenger is like why I got to keep Facebook. But the other thing is like throwing events or parties or invites. Like I don't know what happened if everybody got off Facebook. That would like fuck up my whole system for like inviting people.
You'd
over.
have to
Yeah,
actually
how
talk
do you
to
get people to go to
Well,
your
no,
stuff?
I'd have to make sure I have all their cell phone numbers, and then are you spam
What do you do?
texting?
You just text each person individually?
No, that's
I don't wanna
dumb.
do that.
Everybody
Can't
keep your
do that.
Facebook so I can send you invite you to my crazy house party.
Looks like it's time to delete again.
My crazy house party.
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm not sending out an Evite, that's for sure.
0%. I I don't know your email. I don't know any of your emails.
You know what?
That's- I
There's
don't
been
know
a
your email.
phenomenon
No, I
recently
I
that
probably have
my
it deep in my
Yeah.
from like high school.
I've noticed that my older cousins have all been sending evites now. They do not send Facebook invites for anything.
Like an e-card that's
they
animated.
send emails that have a complete invitation that you click to RSVP.
Yeah, it just feels so much harder to keep track of for me.
Yeah.
And when you say older, how much older?
They are Kevin. They're your age or older, and they're on Facebook. They're on Facebook, but they
there's-
don't use it.
That's crazy.
It's
I
pretty
use
nuts.
I use Facebook like as like a calendar app. I like I need to make sure I stop like if I have some subscription that I need to cancel. I like put like 2 days before. Cancel this.
There's a calendar on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's
what I use it for.
I'll get text messages from Facebook saying, or it'll pop up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, I need to get tickets because this is like at 10 a.m. they have a pre-sale.
Yeah, it integrates with your Google account as well. So if you go on your Google
So I
calendar,
almost use it for the calendar function.
But, what I
I'm
exclusively.
like, oh, am I free that day? I don't know what events is going on.
What I discovered, Chase, is that I never got to integrate because when I deactivated my Facebook, that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
the
that makes
integration with
sense.
Google Calendar. So
Are you officially deactivated now?
No. I haven't. I've kept it on all summer because we had a bunch of events.
Yeah,
and stuff.
see, all these little things.
It's easy. It's just easier. Keep it for the
When you have
events.
tons of weddings to go to, you have
Mark
to kinda-
Zuckerberg was
Right.
watching you delete your account and reactivate it in the same day, and he was like, "Yeah,
Let's invite. He was specifically inviting you. Oh, there's this cool. Go to Bumbershoot, huh? Go to this. You gotta come to me.
Are you interested in Bumbershoot?
You're like, oh god damn it. Okay, I'll keep my fucking
I'm
Facebook.
interested in it.
He's just watching you specifically and be like, turn off his Facebook page.
Do it.
I remember back in the heyday of Facebook where I would go on a vacation or out of service for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would just think about like, oh man, when I get back and get service again, I'm going to be hit with so many Facebook
So many
notifications.
Like 19, man.
sweet notifications,
People liking my stuff, or that'd be the best
10
thing.
plus.
That'd be the best thing. It's just posting a photo or posting something and just kind of walking away and being like, I don't care how many likes I get. I don't care. But you're actually like,
But you do.
you're waiting like a few hours to get that big hit of like, oh shit, 15 likes.
Yeah,
You're
it's
waiting
drugs.
To get,
It's like
waiting
drugs.
to get that dopamine just straight to the brain.
It's drugs. Yeah, that's all it is.
You're
really.
like describing my social media marketing life for Podworms right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, maybe this will get some laughs.
It's true. The same thing with like Rebel Scum is that I hate it, but it's a necessary evil.
Kevin comes home late and he sees Mike. There's a single light on in Mike's house.
He's just typing away.
Sweetly D's. Crouched over his computer.
Hereditary 2.
No, that's gonna be big though someday. Hereditary. Check it out.
I'm on
Check
it.
out the Podworms Instagram account.
Scroll back like several months.
Honestly, the Podworms Instagram account is amazing.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
and yeah, it's pretty
it
good.
is the best thing every
Honestly,
time I log
yeah, I
into.
think it's really good.
Like we're biased a little bit, but
But not that biased.
like
Medium biased.
objectively, it's
medium biased. I
the
like
best
that.
Instagram account that is out there.
We're medium biased.
Okay, unrelated.
medium. Can I get a medium bias, please?
yeah, because you make it medium biased.
I don't want anything too biased. Can I just have a medium bias, please?
I'll take an interim solutions.
Not final, just interim, please.
Unrelated to Facebook, I realized the other day that maybe the only thing in my life that's worse than shame is that's worse than my own shame is seeing the shame of others in interactions with me. And let me explain.
Yep.
Please do.
One situation where this happens is, where someone says something stupid and you can tell immediately they regret it and they're beating themselves up in their head the second they say it.
Yep.
So this happened to me, and this happens occasionally, like maybe like once in a blue moon. Okay.
To you?
That's a measure of time. by
That
the
you
way.
say something stupid and
No,
you
no,
regret
this
it?
happens to other people, which is just as bad as me doing it myself. But
Yeah.
like,
Oh, he's not once in a blue.
Yeah, okay. I was just gonna say I don't think
So
that's
if someone
very realistic.
if you greet somebody, the social norm is that you cannot greet them in the exact same way, and with the exact like
What?
So this happened where I passed somebody in the hallway and we weren't really paying attention, and I said, "Hey man, how's it going?" And he said, "Hey man, how's it going?" In the exact same way, like he didn't like change his tone, he didn't change the
That's
greeting,
really funny,
and you could tell that as
actually.
we walked past each other, he's like, "Oh, why the fuck I do that? It's so stupid. It's just that's so dumb. Why did I say it like that? Why did I say the exact same phrase?"
That's actually really funny.
And I just felt like,
He said the same tone too.
yeah, the exact same inflection.
So he said that, and then
No, I said it to him. I said, "Oh, hey man, how's it going?" He said, "Oh, hey man, how's it going?" Like he mirrored the exact way I greeted him, and I could tell.
and then nothing else was actually
No, because we
said.
passed each other in the
Right,
hallway.
okay.
But I knew, I just know that as he was
Andrew-
walking to the bathroom, he was just like, "Ah, fuck, I'm such a dumb idiot." Why did I-
I have that all the time. Okay, this is
Maybe
I
he
don't-
was
I-
trying to-
I don't know if this is a tangent, but I imagine that everyone else is not as like social, like has the same social anxiety that I have. Because was that person actually thinking that, or did he just not even think about that?
Yeah.
Like you or I feel like would think about that. Like there's times where I walk by people and like in an interaction where you go, "Oh hey, how's it going?" But sometimes like it's like you're just walking past. I just got my coffee. I'm like. And I realized that I didn't actually say words. But you're just walking past, and, you're like, and I'm like, did they notice that I didn't say words? Are they thinking about that?
No, they
did.
did.
They
They
say
don't-
words?
they
And I'm
don't
like,
care.
do I just think about that, or
Nobody
do they
cares.
think about that?
I like to think that he was being super sarcastic. Oh, hey man, how's it going?
Oh, hey, guy.
Who am I?
Andrew,
Like he was having a shitty day.
I like to think that Andrew's office is just populated with actual just NPCs, and they're just repeating everything he says. Andrew's the only real person there. And it's just a guy, just like a bunch of androids, just being like, hey man, how's it going?
I perceive the same thing when you say like, "Hey, good morning," and they say, "Oh, good," as if you ask them like, "Oh, how you doing?" And they just immediately respond like, "Oh, good," but you just say something that does not elicit that response, and you just know, like, "Oh, why did I say that?"
I do that all the time.
I trick myself into thinking that I just asked them how they're doing twice.
What?
So because a lot of times I'll go up to someone and go like, "Hey, how are you doing?" They'll go like, "Oh, pretty good. How about you?" And then I'll go, "Hey, how are you going? How you doing?
How you going?
How you doing?"
We're from Australia now. How you going?
Usually it's probably like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? How you doing?" And then I'll walk away and be like, "Did I say how you doing twice? I don't know.
But did you actually?
I don't know.
It's a mystery.
I don't know.
We'll never know.
Mike just blacks out really for a second in the middle of
These are the things like as far
They walk away. They're like, "That guy said, how am I doing 5 times? What the fuck is wrong with him?"
Mike's like, I think I said it twice.
If I could relate, if I can relate to Andrew's shame stories, this isn't one of them right now. But like, if I can relate to it, it's always in those tiny interactions. The quickest interactions where I'm like, "Oh shit, was I stupid?" And then I'm like, "Are they thinking about this? They're probably not thinking about this. I'm thinking about this."
And you're like, "Yeah, let's move on."
They're probably not.
All I know is I
want.
want to parrot you every time we say hello now.
Go for it. Hello.
just waiting for him to say something.
I mean, feel free.
Did I tell the story? I'm not sure if I told the story or not, but it's like recently when I dropped off Gus at Travis and Lucretia's house.
I don't think you told us on the pod.
Gustav?
I think this is
Gustav
a
H.
great,
Sorry,
a great pod story.
I didn't drop off Gus. I dropped off Ziwa, which is her sister's dog.
Yes.
But like after your dog left the duplex,
Whose dog? Jim's dog?
yeah, Nori, Jim.
Okay.
After Nori left,
Yes.
Gus was kind of like gun shy of anyone leaving the house.
He needed a buddy.
So give some context to everybody who doesn't know these dogs.
So Kevin and I live next to each other now, and I have a dog named Gus, who's a little French bulldog.
Gustav.
Before Kevin lived next to me, Jim did. Yes. Jim had a dog named Nori that was this
and
beautiful.
They played all the time.
Yep, they played all the time. Jim moved away, Kevin moved in. Here we are.
And so when Nori left, Gus was just like upset,
Despondent.
Devastated.
Devastated.
That's sad.
Despondent. Poor guy.
And so
So sad.
both our sister and Mike and Julia went on vacations at the same time. And so Ziwa, who's our sister's dog, was staying with Gus for a few days, like a week, I think, right?
Yep.
And so when it came time, I was the person who had to take Ziwa and leave the house.
Because Julie and I were out for the weekend that he was leaving.
And so basically, like, I'm leaving, I have a leash on Ziwa, and like as soon as I open the door and Gus sees Ziwa go out the door, he is fighting for his life and squeaking and squealing. It's like a baby pig that's like just so squeaky and squealy, and I feel like awful because I'm taking this friend away from him.
That's dog ownership.
So sad.
And so we get in the car, and I like after it was like it was an ordeal because it took about 30 seconds to like fight and get out and get everybody situated in the car and finally get on the road on the way out to drop it off at these Travis and Lucretia's house. Anyways, and I'm just feeling like shit on the drive there, and I'm like, I texted Mike. I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, taking Ziwa away from Gus. Like, you could replace like the audio from what just happened into any like World War II film where the Nazi is separating a mom from her child, and it would just like no one would notice the difference because it was like
So
that dead on accurate. That's how traumatized I felt.
Dog.
This is a Holocaust heavy episode.
So this is
That's the name of this episode.
this is where it gets into.
I don't think it is.
Well, we're about to tie it back into the shame that you feel on like in weird circumstances.
Yeah.
Which is I drop off Ziwa at Travis and Lucretia's. They give me a tour of their house. I'm leaving, and as I'm leaving, Ziwa comes and like tries to get out the door where I'm walking out, and I'm like, oh, the same thing happened when I left Mike's house. I felt like a Nazi. And then like at that point the door closed. And so they don't have any context or anything. All I said is the same thing happened at Mike's house. I felt like a Nazi. And then I'm walking to my car being like, I'm an idiot. Why was that the time? Why did I need to tell that story just then? Like, because it was literally, I started telling it as the door was closing.
You want to even feel worse?
Oh my
God! I was reading an article, and this might be an extreme thing, but basically somebody was saying that when you leave a dog that knows you really well, and you might be its owner, you might be like neighbors, whatever. When you leave them, they basically think that you're going away forever and you're never coming back.
Like object permanence?
Like not even object permanence. Just they're thinking like because in the wild, somebody was equating with like wolves in the wild, where when one leaves the pack, that means they're done forever. They're going to die.
This is the worst thing I've ever heard.
When you come back, to your dog after a long period of time, they literally think you've gone and died, and that's why they're so excited.
To be fair, Jim did preface this with, "Do you want to feel even worse?"
This is true. Well, we have a dog camera that can shoot treats out to Gus,
Yes.
and whenever we go on vacation and have someone watch him, Kevin or Jim, because they live next door, we'll like check in when we're on vacation, and Gus just sleeps on the top of the couch right next to the front door by the window so he can watch for us. He has a bed that's elsewhere that he sleeps every other night, but when we're gone, he just sits there looking for us
for hours.
For the entire time.
Dogs are fucking pathetic.
They really are. They really are.
Wow, dogs are stupid.
They are. They are pathetic.
They don't have the moral fortitude.
They don't.
Okay.
Very sensitive.
Does anybody else have any sad dog stories?
Yeah, let's go.
Or Holocaust stories?
Holocaust stories? Anyone?
Holocaust or sad dog? Final solutions. There you go.
Final Solutions LLC. It's okay because there's an S at the end. Or is it okay? I mean, there's no reaction to that, so maybe it's not okay.
When Andrew talks, I like just leave it with silence.
He gets insecure.
Just keep him wondering a little bit.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, it's so weird. Andrew gets insecure and he makes a joke and no one laughs. What a weirdo.
Let's keep being quiet.
So here's a predicament. I'm probably going to take off in a few minutes, but we have great content coming up.
We do have great content.
Do we think that
We'll see
everybody
if you're actually going to take off
in the
a few
podcast?
Yeah,
We'll see about that, Andrew.
We'll see. Actually,
I mean,
I may not have listened to the podcast for the first 20 episodes or so, but at least when I was on it, I was on it.
Actually, Chase has left in the middle of an episode once.
Chase has.
Now-
He let us chill at his house, though.
And I've come in the middle of an episode.
Oh, that's true.
This is true.
well, here's what we do next time. We just keep it tighter. You know,
Keep it tight.
No more fucking around, guys.
Maybe
Andrew, I thought at the beginning of this you said we were just gonna have some fun.
you know what? I'm all good. I'm down for fun as long as there's no chanting. No, what's the other thing you guys like to do when I'm not here? Well, actually, this happens when I am here, where it goes. Someone goes like, and then, and then, I mean, which is kind of another form of chanting.
I feel like everybody that likes to listen to this podcast is like, Andrew doesn't like any of the things that I like.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Everyone that listens is like, Andrew, what that guy's taste
so
in
you
podcast?
don't like fun?
You don't like a good time?
Well,
huh?
guess what? If you hate
real
me
straight
and my
cut.
rules, guess what? There's about to be some dad's gone no rules in about 2 minutes here.
Man, I'm so excited. Actually, you know what?
excited.
Woo! Is it not
Please
time
leave.
for you to leave right now, or
You know what? It's getting about that time. But I am curious. Can I hear what the bit minute is before we get going?
Are you going to stay for it?
No, I'm not going to stay for it.
what? You just want to hear what it is?
Absolutely not.
All right. So you know what? I'll just here's what I'll do. I'll leave right now.
Yep.
I will listen back to the bit minute. I will listen back to Jim's history, dare or truth or fuck me in the ass. What's it called? What's the third option?
I don't think
What's
that's
there not
it.
third
I,
options?
I think it's good that we have someone on the podcast that like seems to hate the podcast.
He loves the podcast. He hates the podcast.
Yeah, that's Peter. It is. That is Peter's job.
It's his job, but he's not here, so we've got another one.
That's
No,
Peter's role.
Andrew, I think you're a fantastic leader of the podcast.
You're-
and I
you're doing a great
I'm
job,
just very excited to
and
be on this
it's
episode
time for you
with
to go.
leading it, but I think you should leave.
Thanks. Well, no one on this. Yeah. Okay. Taking the headphones off. All right. That doesn't matter for anything. Just for people at home. I had headphones on.
Audio still works.
And now I don't have them on anymore, and you can't tell the difference.
Let's not get out of the pod. Let's just continue talking as if the pod's going.
absolutely.
We need to.
Nobody says goodbye.
I need to treat you guys like a dog, because when you leave your dog for the day, you don't make a big deal and a fuss. You just walk away.
Wait. Are you going to leave any treats?
No, you just leave. You don't make a fuss. You don't make a deal. You don't acknowledge them. You just walk away.
You're leaving.
But like maybe some treats though.
But maybe just like a couple.
There might be a treat.
One that we can all split.
Can we all split the treat?
There might be surprises throughout this house. So don't skip ahead.
We are deteriorating the farther he walks away.
All right, and he's getting up.
All right, you guys. I'll bring it back. We'll bring it back.
Grabbing his thing.
He's grabbing his keys.
Okay.
You guys have stuff to talk about.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
No, we do.
Sure
Yeah,
do.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like
Grabbing
a few
his
seconds.
his sweatshirt. He's waving
He's waving
goodbye. He is
walking
out. He's waving goodbye.
Yeah.
He's opening the door.
So happy he made that bus.
Big smile, big wave.
He's not going to regret any of this.
Think what he's going to do with those extra 20 minutes once he gets home.
Thank God.
Oh man, I feel
Jesus
great.
Christ.
Now we can finally get us some real content.
Dad's
guys.
gone. Dad's gone.
Andrew's gone. Andrew's gone. Andrew's gone. Andrew's gone.
Andrew's gone. Immediately chanting.
You're holding it in for so long.
Oh man, that felt good.
Oh, man.
I'm glad we can finally have some fun.
Yeah,
You know?
finally have some fun with the
time for some
podcast.
fun.
Oh, speaking of fun, how about a bit minute, guys?
a bit minute.
Yeah.
Drop that bit minute thing now. All right, welcome to Mike's Bit Minute.
Hey.
This Bit Minute is brought to you by Cantaloupe.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I hate
You can't elope anymore because you're married.
So in this Bit Minute, I figured that I would bring to you all some idioms or colloquialisms or phrases from around the world that don't make any sense, and you have to guess what they actually
In English.
In
mean
English.
in English.
Okay.
Great.
I'm going to say them in a different language.
You guys have to guess what they mean.
Well, you just said I'm going to say idioms that don't make sense. They're idioms from other languages that don't make sense in
Idioms
English.
don't make sense.
Did I not
to
say
begin
from
with.
around the world? I think I did.
He did.
You didn't say in other languages.
No, you did.
Right. So now they understand. Cool.
Yeah, okay, great.
All right. Yeah. Keeping that energy high. Keeping that energy high.
All right, kicking it off. The first one is not my circus, not my monkey.
Oh. What country?
We have to
is this?
guess what this
We have to Guess what it means?
Yeah, we could treat this like a spelling bee. You can ask me
And we
what
have to guess
country.
what the
What is
country
the
is.
origin?
Can I have country of origin, please?
Yeah, could you
Yes, Polish.
Could you use
I
it
mean,
in-
it's not country of origin.
could you use it in a sentence?
No.
It is the sentence.
That is the sense. It's an idiom.
All right, fine.
Could you use it in a situation?
Yeah, I
Could you
think this is describing nobody's business.
I think it's more like, well, actually,
No
yeah,
one's
no,
business?
I agree with Jim. Well, I think it's just maybe not nobody's business, but not any of my business.
No,
Yeah.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
I imagine it's like being at a party at someone else's house, and then someone new comes in with their dog, and the dog immediately knocks over the glass table in the middle of the room,
And they
then you
say-
say, "Not my circus, not,
Not
my,
my
monkey."
It's very specific, but it works.
Chase and then Jim were close to being right. And Kevin. It basically means not my problem.
Oh, not my
Oh, okay,
problem.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, not my problem is. Yeah.
It's much better.
I mean, it all basically. Okay, so the second one is to have a wide face.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw one out there. It means, that person's a liar.
Jim,
no, I don't know. I think that it could be
to have a wide face.
To have a wide face.
Wait,
Are they gaining weight?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
could
say. I
say
changed my
they're
mind.
gullible.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. You're all wrong. It means to have many friends.
Really?
wow.
Okay. We thought it was negative.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna go quick fire. We're gonna go quick fire on the rest of these guys.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
All right. To have a midday demon. To have a midday demon.
You fall asleep in the middle of the day.
Chase.
I have no fucking idea.
All right, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, you said nap. I'll go with ship then. I'll take a shit in the middle of the day.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
All right. To have a midday demon is to have a midlife crisis. Okay. To feed the donkey sponge cake. Kevin.
Wait, if it's
To
just
feed the donkey sponge cake.
it's like you're throwing away your money.
An embarrassment of riches.
You're being gluttonous.
To give really good treatment to someone who doesn't need it.
Okay. So being gluttonous? That's not what gluttony is.
A cat's jump.
Like you're farting.
A short distance?
Yeah, just like a cool trick.
Short distance.
Yeah!
I like Kevin's the best though.
It's just a cat's jump away from the thing.
All right, to give someone pumpkins. Chase.
No, go.
No, I know. I'm trying to cycle.
Oh, shit. To give someone pumpkins?
Give someone. That's what it is. You got to give me something else.
Oh, okay. It's
Something
not
new.
literally giving someone pumpkins?
No, it's not that.
Okay,
Oh.
I think that it's literally giving
Okay,
someone pumpkins.
Kevin.
STDs.
You're cheaping out on somebody.
It means to reject someone.
Whoa, I was down at the strip club the other night.
She
and
gave her
she
pumpkins.
gave me some pumpkins.
To ride as a hare.
Excuse me.
To ride as a hare.
To go really fast.
Agreed.
Let's see, to ride as a hare. I'm gonna say
Quick fire.
I'm just trying to think of like a rabbit on a bus.
Ride as a hare.
Maybe it's like a person who has
as a
sex
hare.
a lot.
Someone who can see very
To travel without a ticket.
well.
All right. To let the frog out of your mouth.
You are healthy now. You were sick and you are now healthy.
You're speaking truth to power.
You're just blurting something out.
To say the wrong thing.
See, I feel like this is more interesting if we talk about it.
No, I like this better.
Oh, just rapid fire.
All right. The last one. To have a stick in your ear.
Well,
So, someone who doesn't listen.
Yeah, somebody who's stubborn.
someone who walks sideways through forests.
Oh my god.
Good lord.
I agree with you guys. Was trying to think.
All right, that means to not listen to someone.
Yes.
We had to go quick fire because it had to be a
Yes.
minute because we're a bit minute, and that was definitely 60 seconds. So, all right,
I definitely think so.
Exactly.
And
That was
time.
time.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining
60 seconds.
us for another classic bit minute.
All right, everybody. So now it's time for a game that we all like to call
Historical truth.
Historical Truths.
Or dare.
Or dare. So
I'll take a dare.
So the dare part of this is you have to figure out which three of these stories is fake.
I dare you.
Cool.
And we're gonna let's all settle in. Let's all settle in because it's gonna be three stories, and I'll give you a chance to discuss after each of them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one that I'd like to read to you is called "The Ballad of E.B. Turner." Ooh. Okay. So November 10th, 1908, King County Sheriff's deputies were on the trail of Elliot Barnes Turner, an escaped prisoner from the Walla Walla State Penitentiary.
What?
He escaped downriver to Vancouver, where he invaded the home of a
Sorry,
local.
I know that's
already-
Walla Walla is really far away.
Okay,
So
so
is this the King County people that are looking for him?
yes, that's correct.
Wow,
So, well, this is
That's
just
like
the
a
intro.
3 or 4
He
hour
got
drive.
all the way across Washington.
This is just the intro. This is in 1908. So he escaped downriver to
before cars.
Vancouver, where he invaded the home of local magistrate H.E. Bushing, demanding food and a new set of clothes for the winter weather. Bushing happened to be away at the time, but his wife gave him all that he demanded, hearing his story and even packing him a lunch for the road.
Wow.
Turner continued to evade authorities, posing as sheriff while taking the train to Seattle, where he used his disguise to rob a Chinatown bank. The clerks clearly confused as to why a sheriff would need to inspect the inside of his vault. Seattle police and King County deputies caught up with Turner near the cleared land for the Alaska-Yukon expedition, taking place the following year. During the long shootout amongst the stumps of the clear-cut, Turner wounded two of the deputies, Frank Tibbetts and Gus DeYoung. Tibbetts had lacerations across his scalp where Turner shot his hat off, and DeYoung was hit twice in the right shin bone and the right bicep. The other deputies went to DeYoung and Tibbetts' aid, and during the lull, Turner escaped, jumping into the Montlake Cut and commandeering the steamboat City of Bothell. He locked the crew in the boiler room and held the captain at gunpoint, directing them to steam full speed up the lake.
Wait,
Whoa.
hold on. Bothell used to be a steamboat?
So there was a
Bothell
steamboat.
used to be a steamboat, Mike.
There was a steamboat
You heard
named-
that right. Bothell used to be a steamboat.
One steamboat.
There was a steamboat
where I
called
grew up,
the
man.
City of
There's a
Bothell.
steamboat.
It's a city now, but it used to be a steamboat.
That is fucking crazy.
Why is that not crazy to you guys? That's great.
Well, there's a mural. There's a mural downtown
Everyone-
in Bothell that has the City of Bothell boat there.
So this one is true?
Every
So-
city used to be a boat. Mike, get over it. That's what city means.
City, the definition of city is it used to be a boat.
Something that used to be a
That is
boat.
the definition of a city.
Oh my God. Okay, so at one point, and sources vary on this, either the heroic captain of the steamboat ran it aground at the mouth of Squawk Slough, or Turner pushed the captain off the top deck and tried to steer the boat himself, each resulting in the grounding of the vessel.
Yep.
Afterwards, Turner escaped
Yep,
and
second
remained at large with his ill-gotten gains from the bank robbery until his second and last gun battle with U.S. Marshals in a wheat field not far from Ritzville, Washington. The money from the robbery was never found.
Whoa.
So that's number one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Number one is Bothell used to be a boat.
Number one is the city of Bothell.
Bothell used to be a steamboat.
boat.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I got to kind of summarize these. So yeah, the first
Yep.
one, steamboat, Bothell, great.
And I can rephrase them at the end if you don't remember. So
Yeah,
the
steamboat
second
Bothell.
one is
need to.
the U.S. government poisoned alcohol in the 1920s. So during Prohibition,
Yeah.
potable alcohol was so hard to come by that people resorted to drinking industrial alcohol, which so basically
Rubbing alcohol?
essentially rubbing alcohol, but the only way to get your hands on that was to steal it.
I can't see why that would be a problem.
Eventually, the U.S. government got fed up with the fact that everybody was stealing industrial alcohol to create alcohol, so they started poisoning it. But only because the liquor syndicates had their own chemists to renature their products, turning them to drinkable alcohol. The bootleggers paid their chemists a lot more than the government did, and they excelled at their job. Stolen and redistilled alcohol became a primary source of liquor in the country, so federal officials ordered manufacturers to make their products far more deadly. By mid-1927, the new denaturing formulas included some notable poisons: kerosene, gasoline, benzene, iodine, zinc, mercury, ether, formaldehyde, etc., etc.
Whoa.
In 1926, in New York City, almost 1,200 people were sickened by poisonous alcohol. 400 died. The following year, deaths climbed to 700. These numbers were repeated in cities across the country as public health officials joined the angry clamor.
Back then, they were all called boats.
That's right. So the result was, by 1933, the poisoned alcohol killed nearly 10,000 people in what became known as the Chemist War of Prohibition.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the federal government intentionally poisoned alcohol
What's
to get people to stop drinking it.
Two-word summary of that one? We got steamboat, Bothell,
Government poison.
Government poison.
government poison.
Okay, so this is the third one, and this is my favorite. It's my very favorite. On November 12th, 1970, the Oregon Department of Transportation decided to blow up a dead whale that had washed up on on Florence Beach, near Florence, Oregon. It has been.
What else do you do with a whale?
And, yeah, so
And Florence
it's on the Oregon coast.
was a boat.
So it had been so long since a whale washed up in Lane County that no one could remember how to get rid of it. It couldn't be buried because it would be uncovered, and it couldn't be cut up because nobody wanted to do it, and it couldn't be burned, obviously, because it was laying on the beach. So a half a ton of dynamite was chosen to hopefully disintegrate the long dead whale so it could be cleaned up by seagulls and other scavengers. George Thornton, the highway engineer in charge of the project, said, "Well, I'm confident it'll work. The only thing is we're not sure exactly how much explosive it'll take to incinerate this thing so that the scavengers can clean it up." So K2 News reporter, the humor of this is after they've blown it up. The humor of the situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. Pieces of meat flew over our heads while others are falling at our feet. The dunes are rapidly evacuated as spectators escape both the falling debris and the overwhelming smell. A parked car over a quarter of a mile from the blast site was the target of one large chunk. The passenger compartment literally smashed. Fortunately, no human was hit badly as the car. However, everyone on the scene was covered with small particles of dead whale.
My favorite thing about that story is that they were like, okay, who's in charge of getting rid of this whale?
The Oregon Highway Department.
How about the highway department? And then the one guy who's leading that group is like, does anybody remember how? No one remembers how to do this.
What's protocol?
So it was 1970.
You got the whale dynamite?
So at the
dynamite.
At the end of the day,
Remember?
Earl, get the whale dynamite.
Blubber go boom. That's not too far from the truth. Because at the end of the day,
So this one's true, Jim.
so at the end of the day, highway crews were back on the beach to bury the remains, including a large piece of the carcass, which never left the blast site. It might be concluded that should a whale ever wash ashore in Lane County again, those in charge will not only remember what to do, they'll certainly remember what not to do.
Take that, whales. Never come back here.
You stay off our beaches,
huh?
So we have
Just leave it out there so all the other whales are afraid.
Put his head up on a spike.
I just imagine like the head of
big spike.
the head of the Oregon Transportation Department is like, I want that whale blown up.
Hey, let me tell you a story, little Jimmy. Let me tell you about a story about the day that we taught whales to fear land.
Okay, so those are the three things.
Okay, so we've got
We got Bothell,
Steamboat Bothell,
Steamboat Bothell. We got
Government
the
poison.
government
Poisons everyone.
and the
Blubber
dead
Go
whale.
Boom.
and Blubber Go
Wait,
Boom.
did you write one of these?
Maybe.
Wow.
So I might have written one of them.
So it's two truths
So
and a dare.
there is two truths and a dare. Two historical truths and one dare.
Man, that's
do
tough.
we
Those
vote?
were all very well written. Good job.
Yeah, if you wrote one of these, congrats.
Yeah, that was
absolutely.
Really, I am fooled.
If you didn't write one of these and these are all true, fuck you.
I would never do that to this podcast. I'm a man
that's
of my
tough.
word.
All right. Well.
Well, what do we got here, boys? I don't know why we're talking like that.
look.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say for me, the one that I have to go with as being false is the second one.
The second one,
Where the government's poisoning
alcohol. Okay, in the 20s. Go.
I'm also on that train.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I was leaning towards as well.
And
it's
it's,
like
not even on the merit of the story as much as for some reason I remember it being shorter. Like if I'm trying to I unfortunately because now that I know that Jim maybe wrote one, I'm like maybe you wrote the shorter one.
No,
it wasn't that short. I feel
For
like-
me, it's just like if you've got chemists working on cleaning up alcohol, it's so much easier to
Yeah.
just make alcohol than to get formaldehyde out of alcohol. That's
Yeah.
how I feel.
Also, I feel like, man, if there were really that many deaths, I feel like we would have learned about it. And I don't remember learning about that in any history class.
Yeah, and then I'll rank the Bothell one as number 2 because I feel like I've heard this
Same.
Oregon one before.
So you guys are in consensus?
Yeah, we all think the second one is the dare.
It's the dare.
I dare you to tell us which one.
Don't you dare tell me that whale dynamite ain't real.
All right.
I've seen it.
And the big reveal.
You're all wrong.
Really?
You're all wrong.
Oh,
the
shit.
second one was absolutely true. It was only shortened because I got ahead of myself when reading it. But it is absolutely true. The article that I didn't want to read because there's a much longer article about the prohibition poisoning alcohol.
Wow.
So I had
weird.
to get an excerpt instead. But because that would have been the whole thing.
Okay.
Now I feel like- now I feel like an idiot.
Before you tell us the dare, can we guess the dare
Oh,
now? That we
now you can
narrowed
guess
it
the
down to
dare.
two.
Yeah.
Because now I don't. This throws everything that I knew. is
Now
out the
I
window.
say number one because that's the other one I was leaning towards because some of the names that Jim said in that story seem quite ridiculous as names.
What's the date for the third one?
The third one? Mm-hmm. The Dead Whale?
Yeah.
November 12th, 1970.
Okay, because I feel like I've seen footage of that. I've seen footage
The
of like
first
a
one
whale
is
exploding.
a little local, huh?
It's very local.
Steamboat
and
Bothell? Steamboat Bothell. That should have been my first clue.
Bothell was a steamboat.
That part is
regardless of whether or not that story's a lie.
Yeah, that is not the dare.
Steamboat Bothell.
Although it's definitely a steamboat.
Steamboat Bothell, though.
I just think because it's very cinematic. That one, it has quite the story.
I feel like it had the most intricate details.
Why is there no movie about this guy?
Huck Finn. Think about it.
Think about it.
You do the work. You tell me how it's similar to Huck Finn.
Think about it.
Why isn't
I
there
won't.
two movies about it? Tom and Huck.
Come on.
Tom and fuck.
Tom Sawyer's out there going, hey, come on, fuck. Let's go on an adventure.
I have never.
Come on, fuck. We're going Spokane or Walla Walla. Where are they going?
I've never
Walla
thought
Walla.
about making porn versions of kids' films.
Yeah, you've never thought about that.
All right, okay. Really quick, if
Literally.
you had to think of a porn version of a kids movie name, what would it be?
Old Yeller.
Wait, I love this game.
You could change story. You could change.
This is like a straight. This is
Wait. We should wrap up Jim's segment
Yes.
and then let's go to this next one.
This next one.
Okay.
Start thinking about it right now.
I think it's the first. I think it's the first one then.
You are correct.
So
So-
I knew Bothell wasn't a fucking steamboat. So
No, Bothell was a steamboat.
The reason
that part's true?
the reason that it was tough is that the first one I included a lot of details that were real. So city
was
city
a
of Bothell is definitely a steamboat.
What?
Yeah.
Obvious. Everyone knows that.
It's on a fucking mural in downtown Bothell.
city.
Where? I can show it to you.
No, just tell me where.
It's on the side of the Parker Paint Building.
clearly, it's a
Mike.
steamboat because it's
says
a
City of
city
Bothell.
now.
You know when you're walking
I
downtown
can show you a
Bothell
picture.
and you see those
do
people?
that. We'll save that for after pod. But yeah, I want to see that Steamboat Bothell.
Okay.
I grew up on a steamboat.
It was a city, so of course it was fucking a steamboat. You shitting me right now?
Oh man.
So the other thing is that like that one that I wrote was heavily borrowed from like a story about another outlaw who did have a shootout in Seattle and did also have a shootout in Bothell. So I took some details from that. Who he
Either
should
way,
have
it's
a
very
movie.
convincing, Jim. I couldn't tell which one of the dare was.
okay.
And then we'll have to rewatch the whale exploding video. Again,
All right.
because that's
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Classic.
I definitely want to see that. But now onto my segment that I just made up a minute ago. This new segment is called. Oh man, I don't have a name. What would you guys
Better come up with a name.
call it? This
You wanted to take ownership.
you better.
this
you
one
have
is
the name.
called Childhood XXX.
All right, can we hear the?
Yeah,
the-
I was going to say that's better than child porn.
All right, all right. Let's
Way
hear,
better.
Let's hear the theme song for that. Childhood,
All right, thanks everybody for joining me. I'm glad you guys all came. I really wanted to. Oh shit! I forgot the song lasted that long. Okay, so the point is, it has to be a childhood movie name that could also be a porn title, or I'm thinking you could also, change the title just
Tweak it
slightly,
Slightly.
like Kung Fu Grandma.
exactly like that.
Kung Fu Grandma. Transmorphers.
I'm trying to think of some clever ones, and so we can, what I would say is let's just blurt them out, or we can go around. And do this circle.
Let's go for it.
I've got one.
Five goes west.
It'd be
great.
funnier if it was Five Goes South.
An American Tale.
I was thinking maybe
Just American Tail.
maybe Homeward Bound.
Hey. Hound.
Nice.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I was trying to go for a
no, I like it.
Bound.
a bound.
like,
Get it?
bondage. I see.
Yes.
Homeward Bound and Pound.
Homeward Bound and Bound.
Nice.
Yeah, we didn't prepare for this
We were
at all.
so excited about this.
Oh, there's got to be more.
There's got to be more. I really like Toy Story.
Toy Story is pretty good.
Pinocchio.
That's not even any different. You just said it different. Pinocchio.
It starts with peen.
Mona.
Oh my god.
He's just going through a list right now.
Oh god. Thinking.
Beauty and the Squirts.
No, I don't know.
Just stretch it so far.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Oh, wow. Yeah. Inside Out.
It's a little too grown up for me.
The Lego movie. No.
The Let Go movie.
Nice.
Up. Up is funny.
Spirited Away.
What? You're just looking at your phone now and reading off.
No, I'm
just reading off titles.
Okay.
You gotta think of him naturally.
Yeah.
I am.
I am. As he scrolls through his phone.
I am. These are
Angels in the Outfield.
Yes,
I'm just going to name titles.
Angels in the Outfield.
Field of Dreams.
You could change those. You could have said like Field of Dicks or something.
No, I like Field of Dreams.
Field of Dicks.
That's an awful title.
Everyone would be like, oh, like a Field of Dreams spinoff. I get it.
Field of Dicks. Charlotte's dick.
What? That didn't even. My God.
So stupid.
All right.
Parent Trap.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, well, I think my first segment that I ever made for this whole podcast went really well.
Went really well.
Heavyweights.
Thanks, everybody.
I know what's in that one.
That's pretty good. Maybe we'll do this again, and maybe we'll get a little. Oh my God, Mike, we're ending the segment. I was ending the segment because of you.
There's an. Can I?
Splooge-a-dooey. My God.
He's so entertained.
How to Train Your Dick.
That's a little bit better, at least because Dragon starts with a D. Oh my Lord.
Shrek.
Just
The Incredibles.
I was looking for someone with that.
I'm trying. Now you guys got me on this Pixar one.
So there's another game that I really like to play.
Yeah.
It's called What Movies Remind You of Poop or Pooping. So
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
for example,
I've heard of this one.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
okay. Should we close out Chase's game and open up this game?
Chase's child movies XXX.
Oh my God. Did you just say
Bothell is a city.
Chase's Child Movies XXX?
You did just say that.
Jesus Child Movies XXX.
Oh my God.
Daniel, none of this has any value.
I didn't think I was going to say this, but I wish Andrew was here.
Daniel, preserve us.
Maybe we need rules.
Open up Kevin's
Jesus Child Movies XXX. Splooge-a-tooey. Fucking hell. My God.
We thought of 3 that were good and then stopped.
Yes.
Next time we
We're like, oh my God, this is so good. Let's give it its own segment.
next time we do this, even if we do, I hope Mike is not here for it.
Start looking at his phone.
All right, now opening up Kevin's segment. Kevin's poop movies. Kevin's poop movies. Kevin's poop movies.
XXX.
It's going to be The Green Mile.
The Perfect Storm.
Nah, even better.
A river runs through it. The Hulk.
Oh, man.
What lies beneath or what lies below?
What lies beneath? Yeah.
It's 8 Below. Is the other movie.
127 hours.
Scream.
28 days. 28 days later.
The Disaster Artist.
Oh my God. The Nutty Professor.
Flubber.
Flubber's good.
Wow, this is great.
Oh my God. This is evolved so much.
We're just an extended bit.
It's just the last 15 minutes are us naming movie titles.
I think
It's
I love
the
it.
context that's funny.
I just love it because Andrew's listening to this right now.
Yeah, he is. He's listening to this whole thing.
oh my God.
He's like, look what happened.
so glad
when I
What
left.
happens when I leave? We just sit there, just like silence, and then the Green Mile.
Dirty Dancing.
X.
Dirty Dancing, Havana Nights.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Splash.
The Money Pit.
The Money Pit.
Big.
Big.
Turner and Hooch.
Castaway.
The Terminal.
I don't know. That's pretty good. Castaway's pretty good. The Dark Knight.
Oh my God.
Rogue One. Just come up with the ones that don't work.
The ones that just don't
Homeward
make any sense.
Bound.
Schindler's List.
Homeward Bound again.
Homeward Bound again.
You know what? I was thinking though, after you said Homeward Pound, I feel like that would be a really sad movie. This is the sequel to Homeward Bound. It's like an alternate one where all the animals got caught by like animal control.
They're all in the pound.
on their journey.
The sequel that nobody wanted.
I think there's 3 Homeward Bound movies.
Yeah.
The forquel that nobody
and the
wanted.
forquel.
And 2, just imagine a dog pound where every dog in the entire place is called Shadow.
All the dogs can talk, and it's just them in a pound.
No, not Shadow.
When do you think they're going to reboot?
That's happening, isn't it?
Are you sure?
What?
I thought it was happening too, but I thought there was it's been so long since they said they're going to do that.
This is big news. Wow.
Isn't it? Isn't it out?
I agree. I don't think it's out. If it's out, that's incredible.
If it's out, then why are we doing this podcast?
Yeah, let's go watch.
Let's go watch it right now.
It's out. Let's go watch it. Also, Bothel's a city, which means it was a
steamboat. Let's do a come to Jesus moment right now.
Yeah.
Where should we go? Because some of this will probably be cut a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, we could.
What time are we at?
We're at an hour and 2 minutes.
Should we just like
A little bit over.
okay? Should we just end?
Should we
it?
just end the podcast now?
Do we have another? We have anything anywhere else to go?
Should we, guys? Should we just end the podcast?
You think we should just end the podcast?
Just end
Andrew's
it?
not here
How many
anymore.
minutes we got in there?
How many minutes we got?
Yeah.
We're an hour and 3 recording.
Let's.
An hour and 3 minutes.
We could end the podcast.
end
Hold on.
the podcast and be all right.
Let's end the podcast and be all right. Everybody.
Let's end the podcast and be all right. I was gonna let you go, but they said everybody.
pointed right at me.
You said everybody.
I just didn't do
said
it.
everybody.
I did say everybody.
Everybody.
You said everybody that you pointed right at me.
Everybody.
End the podcast and be all right.
Chase.
Yeah, I don't know this song.
Yeah, you do.
I do know this song. Who's that? It's Bob Dylan.
Well, thank you so much for listening and joining in today and tonight and this afternoon, whenever
Wherever
you're
you
listening to
listen.
this morning,
Whenever you listen to podcasts.
whenever you're listening to it. I am not biased. You can listen to this in the morning.
We're
the
not biased
afternoon.
as to when you listen to us.
Honestly,
I only want you to listen in the evening.
That's Kevin, and that he does not speak for the
I
podcast.
speak for everyone.
No, I'm
he
going to tell you
doesn't.
right now. If you're listening to this in the morning, good for you.
Good for you. You know,
If you're
start
listening to
your
that
day
day
again.
Kevin,
starting your day
Kevin
right.
doesn't control you. You know.
Don't
You
listen to
have
Kevin.
free will.
Try again.
Listen to me. Listen to this whenever you want. Listen to it twice.
If you listen in the morning, it doesn't count.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw out that if you're listening to this right now,
Yeah.
once this ends,
Yep.
go ahead and rewind the tape if you're listening on cassette, or press 15 seconds back
Yep.
until you get all the way to the beginning.
Why do we send this out on cassette? Like, why do we do that?
Well, because we have some older listeners.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
Seattle has a big market for cassettes.
Yeah,
so.
the whole retro thing is coming back. You know.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Can,
deal.
can we start printing evening only on the side of the cassette?
I'm almost curious why you think that's more weird than the fact that we send out vinyl.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And also,
No, obviously we send out vinyls.
You realize
We're a
how much
podcast.
you know how much it costs to print vinyls every 2 weeks?
We sell none of those.
and also,
I have boxes of vinyls. I have like 50 for each episode.
but the cassettes though.
There's only 3 factories that make vinyl in the country. And we're putting them out every 2 weeks.
the cassettes though. I think they're coming back in a real big way.
Right, for sure.
In a really good way. It's too bad cars don't play cassettes anymore. Isn't that backwards thinking?
That's
Yeah,
just
what are they
terrible.
thinking?
You know what we should do?
I was driving reverse. No cassettes. J-Blue.
Yeah, if you'd like to follow us on social media, check us out on Instagram at PW Spacecast. Check us
Instagram.
out on Twitter at
Twitter.
PW Spacecast. Send us an email at pwspacecast@gmail.com.
Gmail. Facebook. Hey, if you still use Facebook, that ancient program that people no longer use for anything other
And
than
you need a final solution.
So follow us on that, or delete it through our new LLC. Final
Interim Solutions.
Interim Solutions.
Intern solutions. Yeah.
Intern Solutions.
Intern solutions.
We get
but
our
yeah.
intern to do it.
Go ahead and send us a message or anything you'd like us to read.
Remember, we'll read anything.
Anything you send.
Anything.
Anything you
us.
send.
It doesn't matter what it is. Anything, we'll read it.
Guys, I think I'm just loving this episode so much that I don't want to end it.
I don't wanna
wanna
end it either.
Why are we closing it in?
I
right
say we just keep going and see what happens.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
now? Okay. All right. So
Just keep rocking the free
Chase,
world.
hit me up with one of those classic Chase jokes.
So like, I don't know why I sighed right there. Here's a classic Chase joke. What can zebras have that no other animal can have?
Stripes. Nailed it.
What?
Have you ever heard of a fucking tiger?
Oh shit.
Is that the joke?
I don't get it. That's the punchline. He's anticipating that someone will come. Have you heard of
Have you heard of a fucking tiger, you idiot?
Chase.
Boom! Joked ya.
I feel like that joke is very dependent on who's around.
Chase, that's silly. Adidas have stripes.
Ah, true. Do you guys want to know the actual answer now? It's really funny.
Wait,
Only
what
if
do
it's really
zebras
funny.
have that no other
What do
animal
zebras have that no other
Can you
animal
vamp it for us,
can
though?
have?
Yeah, vamp it for us.
Vamp it.
Prison clothes. What?
Vamp it for us.
What does that mean? What do you mean
Vamp it, bro.
Come on, boy.
Fucking vamp it.
I don't know what vamping.
Just vamp
Dude,
it.
if you have to ask what vamping is,
Yeah, get out of here.
tool.
I'm not going to vamp it actually.
What a tool.
Okay, what is it?
Can you just answer the question?
I did. And you laughed at me.
Could you go along with
What
the joke?
is the joke?
No, the punchline is, what do you think tigers are, fucking Mike?
Tigers aren't fucking me.
Okay, here's the answer. Baby zebras.
Oh.
I thought it was funny. See?
So you could put any
Classic
animal
Chase
in
joke.
there.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't... wait, what was the
Wait.
original
Do you want to hear my
question?
impression of a zebra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my impression of a zebra
Yep.
sleeping.
Okay. Oh my god.
That's just like the real thing.
Is there a zebra in here?
Just close your eyes and
This is actually kind of scary.
Just
I feel
listen
like
to
there's
it.
a zebra in a
Is,
room.
is there a zebra in here?
I'm gonna try it too.
Hold on. Are there 3 zebras in here?
No, it's just me, bruh.
Whoa, dude, that was really good.
Wow.
Amazing, dude.
You're
Amazing.
a zebra?
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Totally weird.
Isn't it?
It reminds me of when I hung out with zebras. You know,
Yeah.
Dude, last week?
last week. That's right, you were there.
That's right.
Man, that was a wild time.
Fucking love
Dude,
zebras.
it's like one of those texts that I get from Chase that I'm like, of course you gotta say yes to. Usually, just like my phone beeps and I look down and it just says,
Yep.
"Hey, you want to go fuck around with some zebras?"
Yeah. You know what? Kevin's always the first guy I ask for these types of things. We get into some things.
You guys and your things.
We get into some stuff.
Yeah.
And
That should be a recurring segment. The Kevin and Chase hijinks.
we just get into shit.
Yeah.
That's why we're not allowed at the zoo anymore.
This week we're
Boom.
talking about zebras.
Wow, that is fantastic.
Yeah. I
how they
bet you
breed.
wish you were there, huh?
Yes.
Well,
And
too bad, because I do that with Kevin, not anybody else.
It's called Chase and Kevin hijinks.
Yeah.
well, great.
So even if I do it in the future, you're not going to know.
I can't come.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening. This seems about as good as time as any to end this fucking train wreck of a bullshit fucking.
Oh, come on,
fucking
Mike.
shit.
Stop it.
Is Andrew still here?
No, that was my Andrew
Oh my God,
impression.
that was a really good
you got me.
Andrew, you're back.
I didn't realize I was going to end the podcast doing a bunch of impressions, but yeah, that was my Andrew impression. Anyway, this has been a fantastic show.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, so good.
so fucking
Probably the best episode.
The second half so much better than the first.
So much better.
Anyway.
Every minute was so enthralling to me.
Yeah.
Every single
Same.
minute.
Absolutely.
Same.
I feel like every second I spend with you guys, I just learn a little something.
I think we all do, Kevin.
We all do.
Yeah.
Well, kiddos, keep
Core four.
It's actually the core four right now.
It is the core four. We finally did it.
We don't need Andrew.